morning. Well, it has started. Spring planting time. Right now, I'm going to finish planting the onions I started planting the other day. These are the red sweet onions. Also got some remaining garlic that I didn't get planted. So I'm going to try to get that and as many other projects as I can. So it's a nice kickoff to our gardening season. Bed prep got done with the BCS, so made the 30-inch wide, used the rotary harrow, lined the bed up, and we sifted through the compost to get what we have here for our topsoil and compost top dressing. And the onions are going into that soil nice and easy. Let's do that. I've also put in alfalfa meal and some alfalfa pellets to give it a little bit extra slow release nitrogen. There's also mushroom compost. There's a big chunk of it, so we've also blended in some mushroom compost into this soil as well. So this bed is ready to plant and good to go. Got a bunch more to go, getting these beds prepped and ready to plant in though. We'll see how far we get today. So that's the onion bed planted. Did the garlics the other day, so the garlic was all planted. Just finishing up those onions. Now, next, I've got to make another bed. Since we have plenty of room out here, I put enough space between the beds, the 30-inch beds, that I can also run the BCS through there in the summer months when we have any weed pressure and the weeds grow up in the rows. So we can still work the BCS through there and keep it clean. We got plenty of space, so why not make more room between the rows to get in there with wheelbarrows and do what we need to do. So let's get these stakes set for the next bed. All right, the next step in our bed prep is putting out mushroom compost. So for our 50-foot beds, it takes about 3 wheelbarrow loads to get enough in there that it's good to plant in. So let's get loading it. I thought I'd come and help you with the water.
Okay.
Because these buckets are kind of heavy.
A bit. Like it? Good dog. Yeah, didn't you do like you stuff with it?
Get them some seeds.
We gotta get our, are we gonna do our new nesting box today?
I don't know. We'll see how time goes. Alice, was watching what Doug got Stacy for her birthday, and she had to have one to replace the nesting boxes we have in these coops. So
these are awful. Awful.
they work. They do a good job. I think they're fine. You just
They don't
pick your.
keep any nesting material in them. They get up there like 4 to a box. It's awful.
Well, it's gonna be
awful.
better.
It'll be better.
Had a nice day. It's so cold all week, and today it's really nice. Looks like it's about 55. Somewhere in the mid-50s, so it's not bad.
Not a thermometer. I do not know. It is in the 50s.
It's supposed to get really cold next week, down in the low teens.
Gotta move it soon.
It is time to move, but we need to use.
Shovel it out
We
first.
do. We got a lot of good chicken manure down here that we need to compost and use in those garden beds. All right, so the next thing I need to do to get bed prep going is sift our compost and get all the large wood chips. This is composted wood chips and other materials, and I just need to get these sifted so we can top dress the bed with it. So tried a couple of other ways to doing this besides the old-fashioned screen board over a wheelbarrow, but sometimes experiments don't work out as you had hoped. So I had this old fence panel and I put hardware cloth on it, and I had it leaned up against some T-posts, and we was using the tractor to sift to put the soil up against it. I had it leaning up against T-posts, and that didn't work. And so then I laid it on top of this little trailer and tried to sift it by hand through that, but honestly it's just not any faster. So if there's a better, simpler, easier way to sift miles of compost, I am all ears. Works really well. It's just very time consuming for as much of it as we need. But I guess, like my good friend over at Fit Farmer, I am getting my exercise in. So after sifting, you can see this is absolutely gorgeous. Composted wood chips and byproducts from the gardens, and even from some grocery stores we have blended in and composted vegetables that they couldn't sell. So very nice. We're going to use that to top dress our gardens, our 30-inch beds. Really fine, nice stuff through 1/8-inch mesh. Beautiful day out today to be doing this. I think our weather this week is really going to change a lot, so I'll try to get as much done today as I can, get the beds prepped, certain things planted. Just like my friends Mike and Lacey over at the Fit Farmer, the part of the gardening work is therapeutic and getting in our exercise. So all the sifting and hauling and moving materials, it's a lot of work, but keeps us active and keeps us young. What have you been doing?
I've been cleaning out the brooder because the chicks are coming this week.
Oh, more chicks on the way?
More chicks on the way.
Awesome.
And then next week we get more chicks.
The meat birds come after that, right?
Yep.
After the layers?
Yep.
Awesome.
Dusty mess.
Good job. All right, so when we're preparing our beds, we have our amendments that go in next. So the first one is alfalfa meal, alfalfa pellets, Texas green sand, azomite. If you've not heard of azomite, azomite is a good product that provides all of the trace minerals that plants need. And then last but not least, we'll put some worm castings in that bed as well. So we're going to get started putting up these amendments in the bed. And then finally, worm castings. Put the worm castings out so that we can add silicates, humates, and of course the earthworm larvae so that we can increase our earthworm population. After I have all of the amendments and the compost and everything in the bed, I'll simply take a leaf rake, gently rake the material in, and finish putting the material out to the edges of our bed so we cover the whole 30 inches there. So the rake does a good job of mixing this stuff in. I could use the BCS to mix all of this in and flatten the roll, or flatten out the row, but actually I enjoy doing this part by hand, and I'm not burning fossil fuels one more time to do so. A little bit more exercise, a little bit more work, but well worth the effort to make a well-formed, nutrient-rich bed. All right, so there's the next bed ready to plant. Looking good. And we just have about 40 more to go. Winter's a great time to prepare those beds and get them ready for the next season. Another project we're working on for the winter is replacing our raised beds. You can see a lot of the raised beds, the soil or the boards have deteriorated. So you can see a lot of our boards out here on these raised beds have been here a really long time, and they have just worn out. So what we're going to do this time is something a little more permanent, and that is we're replacing our raised beds with concrete blocks. So I've already done the blueberry bed here and gotten that bed with the cinder blocks or concrete blocks put in there. It's working really well. So we're going to do all the rest of the kitchen beds where the wood has rotted out. We've still got some like these newer herb beds that are good, but for the most part, any of them that are rotted out, like this one right here by the driveway, you can see the deterioration in the wood. It's just time to replace these guys. So with the price of lumber and everything these days, I've decided to go with something a little more permanent. So we're also, on top of each one of the blocks, we have the flat block. So we're going to put these flat ones on the top. And of course we could pull them away and plant inside the holes, but we're going to put the flat blocks on top. So we've got a delivery of blocks here. So my next project this afternoon is to work on the next bed. The first thing I have to do is get the old rotten wood pieces out. This raspberry bed, you have to be really careful. Boy, these raspberries are very prickly, and it will bite you. You see how rotten these boards and stuff are, so it is just time for them to go. Shake off the excess soil. Pull all of this deteriorated wood out. This particular bed right here was originally a sandbox that I made for my kids, and then the grandkids used it. Had the little seats on the corners and everything, but Then it got repurposed to a raised bed. And now it's just time to retire it.